Fox Toledo Hardcore Football is brought to you by Central Catholic High School. Now, here's all of tonight's action.
And welcome into Hardcore Football. We'll be talking plenty of playoff scenarios tonight, but first we go to Mike Thompson with arguably the biggest Jim White Honda game of the week of the year. Mikey?
Well, without a doubt, Howie, fans, you may have voted for the best and biggest Jim White Honda game of the week this year. Genoa riding a 48-game regular season winning streak. Now, as for the Eastwood Eagles, they come into the game also unbeaten at 9-0. Something's got to give tonight out in Genoa. Fans, they were definitely fired up for this one. It was tied at 7 into halftime. Third quarter, Comets' Josh Breyer looking downfield. Ball gets tipped, and Chase Bean comes up with it. Eagles had a pick six in the first quarter. Ensuing possession for the Eagles, Alex Keys up the gut for 33 yards, and the score, Miss PAT, 13-7 Eastwood. Comets, they fight back. They take a 16-13 lead. Now driving in the fourth quarter, Breyer hits Joey Newland on the slant down to the Eagles' 12. Just a few plays later, Kyle Nutter going in. Comets, they take a 23-13 lead. Just over 16 minutes left. They're up 10. Now, after a long run by Zach Conkle finishes it off. Another Miss PAT makes it 23-19, under 4 minutes to go. Now a $1:30 left in the game. Jake Schmeltz rolls left, hits Conkle. That's the pivotal game we were talking about earlier. Miss PAT makes it 25-23. One last chance for the Comets. 4th and 5, Breyer going for it all. Just out of the reach of Andrew Nutter. And the unthinkable happens. Genoa falls 25-23 to Eastwood, their first Northern Buckeye Conference title in a 10-0 year. As you can imagine, emotions were high.
Oh, we were down, but we weren't out yet. We fought hard to the end. We didn't want to give up. We wanted it so bad. We worked so hard for it, and it just feels so great. Tears of joy. I mean, we overcame the odds in the end. It's just great. It's just such a great feeling.
This group wasn't expected to do what they've done, and to come out and finish the season 10-0. We're pretty happy and pretty proud of them.
To have that type of streak, I mean, it's something to really be proud of. And when the pain goes away and the pads all go away for the winter and all those stuff, eventually that's something these kids are going to talk about forever. Heck, it's something I'm going to cherish forever. It was fun.
48 wins in a row in the regular season for Genoa comes to a close. Eastwood takes the Jim White Honda Game of the Week 25-23. We've got plenty of playoff scenarios coming up for you later in Hardcore Sports. I've got to go crunch some numbers, as Howie called me the playoff guru last week. I didn't agree with him, but we'll see what we can come back with for you guys later in Hardcore Sports. Howie, show us what happened on in the rest of Northwest Ohio tonight, please.
All right, thanks a lot, Mikey. Well, when the track was formed, the strength of the new league seemed to be its football. Now, appropriately enough, in the season's final game, it determines the inaugural track champ. Whitmer's in the driver's seat. Panthers haven't lost all year long. They're pretty stacked. 17-7 in the second quarter. Whitmer on the 1-yard line. They finish some business. Jordy Webb takes it in, 24-7. Ensuing central possession, Deshaun Kaiser throwing in the flat. Ball gets dropped, and Marcus Elliott picks it up, and he does the rest. Goes the distance to make it 31-7 Panthers at the half. They win the very first track title. Final score, 38-21.
It was important to us. We worked hard all year. We're only the second team in school history to go the regular season undefeated. So we set some goals tonight, and to beat a good football team and get those goals accomplished is really special.
You know, it's very important. We want to be selfish, I guess, and greedy. But we got it. Last week with the share, but we wanted to win it outright today.
This was a hot game tonight, and now both teams need to rebound and look on the next week.
Well, nearby at UT, St. John's and St. Francis taking their rivalry to the field. Cheatham Norrells, former Titans star, now at UT, checking things out. 7:45 left in the game, 14-7 St. John's. Jared Jefferson, great balance, and his offensive line giving him a boost. Thanks for the boost. 11 yards, tie game, 14-14. Titans come right back. Brogan Roback, 51 yards through the air to Liam Allen. Down to the St. Francis 10, 3 plays later. Kent Kern, the big fella, 5 yards with 5 minutes left. Titans lead it 21-14. St. John's had an interception at the end to seal it. It got a little bit chippy at the end, but the Titans win it 21-14. Well, technically, Fremont Ross is in right now, but they're 8th and facing a very good Findlay team that could knock them out. This was a great game. Pick it up, 4th quarter. Tyler Wolf, the quarterback keeper, going a long, long way, 69 yards. Fremont Ross takes the lead, 32-28. Findlay, though, they come right back. Under 4 minutes left to go. Paul Casiano, Dylan Blunk, wide open, 45 yards. He's jacked up. That's a touchdown. Findlay up 3. Next Fremont Ross play. Wolf to Skylar Refner, and he cuts through the middle of the field, 79 yards. Another big play. Ross up by 4, but this one not done yet. Under a minute to play in the game. Vance Settlemeyer takes it in from 4 yards out, and Findlay, huge win, 42-39. Well, don't go away. Huge game coming up. We've actually already seen St. John, St. Francis. We'll have Southview, Northview. Huge grudge match on the field. That's up next on Hardcore Football.
Now back to Fox Toledo Hardcore Football.
Well, before the season, the OHSAA found that both Northview and Southview committed recruiting violations. Southview's violation, though, was reported to the higher-ups by a Northview assistant. And these two schools already hate each other. And I don't imagine Jim Mazies would really want to let up against a school that essentially tried to bring his program down. There's Coach Mazies. We know he's extremely intense, to say the least. First drive for the Cougars. Austin Valdez swarmed by the Wildcats. Check out this taunting afterwards. That's some intensity on the field. Gotta love that. Northview can't do anything with the ball, though. They punt from their own end zone to the weapon named J.Q. Bowers. Guy's got some speed. Flashing it, using it, he scores. Southview wins the Battle of Sylvania, 35-6. Speaking of 6, Perrysburg's 6th right now. Facing a dangerous Maumee team, though, that's on the edge. Second quarter, Maumee's Jake Schneider gets in the end zone, 21-0. Panthers on top big, but on 4th down, Steve Slocum makes it 21-7. Only thing is, Schneider, he wasn't done. The scramble, the pass, Dakota Windnagel, 77 yards. That play went. It was 36-7 at the half, and Maumee goes on for a big win, 46-20. Perrysburg probably out of the playoffs. Well, teams that are 4 and 5 aren't supposed to be 7th in region, but because Napoleon's league opponents are a division higher, their strength of schedule improves, and plus, they're probably the best 4 and 5 team in Northwest Ohio. The D3 Cats going against D2 Bowling Green. Playoffs on the line, pink socks being worn for a good cause, breast cancer awareness. Napoleon also showing some awareness on the field, big-time plays. Jacob Plessman, Tyler Miller, who's a stud, ruled out the 3-yard line. The mascot liking it because he knows what's next. Next highlight, that would be a touchdown. Charlie Harris getting it done. Napoleon winning 27-0, a huge W for them. Anthony Wayne needs a lot of help to be a playoff team, but it won't matter unless they beat Springfield. Matt Granger trying to do his part on defense, sliding interception. That was pretty nice. Generals going to work, up 14-7 on the ensuing possession in the second quarter. Aaron DeLay missed a big play from a week ago, getting around the edge on 4th down for 5 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing. That made it 21-7. Generals win it 49-7. And no surprise, more playoff talks coming up next. Ottawa Hills needing a win. Could they get it against rival Toledo Christian? Find out next on Hardcore Football. Northwood eventually pulled away from Ottawa Hills last week, but the Green Bears are still sitting pretty in their Division 6 region. Of course, that's if they can beat their rivals from Toledo Christian. Cheerleaders from Toledo Christian getting buff with those arms of steel. Second quarter, TC up 3-zip, 2nd and 9 from their 2, and Jay Knowles fumbles. Ottawa Hills recovers. Next play, Mr. Highlight for Over the Age. Will Hawthorne has had a big year. Pounds it in. 6-3, Green Bears, late second quarter. Guess what? More Hawthorne. Another touchdown from in close. That made it 13-3. Final score of this one, Ottawa Hills beats Toledo Christian 20-17. More from the TAC. Northwood's in. The only question is home field win, and they likely get that. First quarter, no score at this point. Stephen Fuller following his blockers nicely. Cuts it back, 23 yards. Some nice moves there. Missed PAT though, 6-0 Northwood. Now Stritchwood tied at 6. Still in the first. Northwood marching into the end zone. Evan Perkins. Yeah, Rangers roll 49-13. But when you're sitting ninth in region like Archbold is, it's not fun. It's worse if the team you absolutely have to beat, Liberty Center, in this case, is unbeaten. The upside of that is that strength of schedule matters. A loss isn't horrible for the Streaks. A win would be the ultimate. Zach Niner here. No 9 on his jersey. He's wearing number 7. Doesn't matter. He scores. Maybe that jersey number signifies the touchdown points. 7 points. Tigers up 27-22. Streaks answer quickly. Evan Wise, TJ Gherkin, 24 yards. Archbold now up by 2, 29-27. Then LC getting a little tricky. Halfback pass. Sean Westhoven, Anthony Leguy. Tigers back on top. Defense would take over after that. Archbold having their chances, stopped by Josh Drain. More defense. Taking over the offense, Jimmy Spaeth this time with the INT. Tigers forcing 5 turnovers. Under 2 minutes left to go. Brian Miller and his Blue Streaks, they have 90 yards to go. Wise trying to start off this drive. Instead, he gets sacked in the end zone for a safety, and like that, LC wins 36-29. No bueno for Archbold.
It's going to come down to look like who's ever going to have the ball last. We haven't had a defensive score the entire year, and it couldn't happen at a better time to get that safety. That was just huge. Kids never quit. I thought both teams left it all on the field, and we're just happy to come through here with the victory.
You've been around a long time. Where does this season rank in some of the ones that you've had all time?
It's really exciting because it wasn't expected by hardly anybody. We knew we could do it, but it's super special, and nobody else thinks you can.
Another 2-9 matchup. Clyde playoff blocking Port Clinton for the moment. First quarter, Bennett Brown. He squared. Takes it in from 10 yards out. Yeah, hanging on to the football. That was some ball security. 7-0 from Clyde. Later in the first, it's Adam Turner. It's Turner's turn on the end around. 50 yards. Showing some burst. 14-0 for Clyde. And he gets in the end zone. Nice job. Up by 2 scores. Ryan Meter, he does it himself. 21-0 Clyde. They roll 48-6. Port Clinton did not need that loss. Well, 2 teams already in the playoffs and possibly both with home field in the same region facing off. So maybe a potential playoff preview. Macomb of 14-7 on 4th and 8. Vikings, Dalton Buck to Ashton Westenberger for the score. Then Lipsick storming back in the second half. First play from scrimmage, Trevor Schrader, 74 yards. This would tie it at 20s. Later on, defense, kind of like the Archbold game. Taken over, Dalton Buck picked off by Nate Shea. This would be returned for a pick 6, 51 yards, make it 27-20. Lipsick took over in that second half. They pull away, 48-20. Well, it's winning in for Liberty Benton. They know this game's huge. Under 9 minutes left to go in the first for the Eagles. Brady Vaught runs it in. 6-0 L to the B. Less than a minute left in the first. Van Buren's turn. Ryan Adolph passes to Torrey Palmer. And then Kyle Bowser, hardcore hit candidate. Yes. Eagles next possession. 2nd and 5 on the 47. Mitch Linhart to Bowser. He takes it 53 yards for the touchdown. Makes a 14-0 final score. 49-17. LB. They're in the playoffs. So we know Liberty Benton is in, but how about those other situations where it wasn't so clear-cut? Mike Thompson, our playoff guru, is back to break it down. Playoff style next. So much went on tonight, shuffling the playoff picture. Our guru, our messiah, our teddy bear, Mike Thompson, talks about what it all means. Mikey?
Howie, thank you for the compliments. All right, let's get right to it. Division I, Region 2. Southview, now I'm going to say some things that are kind of listed. Unofficial website out there has some playoff standings projections. This is what we've got. OHSAA will come out with the official ones Sunday at noon. So this is unofficial, what we're going with some of the website out there. Whitmer gets the number 1 seed in Division 1. Southview's in. Finley's in. Anthony Wayne has the number 8 seed in Division 1 Region 2. Division 2 Region 6. Central Catholic, they will host. They got the number 4 seed. They're in. Bowling Green's out. Tiffin Columbian, they got in. Perrysburg is out. Maumee, we're waiting to see on some numbers there. Fremont Ross, they're out. Division 3 Region 10. Clyde, they're going to host. Bellevue, didn't get it on the screen there. I apologize. That's my fault. Bellevue, they're in. They're going to host. They will play Elida. Napoleon is in. They will travel to Clyde in week 1, as you can see. Bryan, unfortunately, they did not get out. They were 9th. Division 4, Region 14. Eastwood, their big win, 25-23 over Genoa tonight. They will host. They got the number 2 seed. Genoa will host. They will take on possibly Richwood North Union. They got the number 4 seed. Eastwood will possibly play Ottawa Glandorf. Another team in Fostoria Oak Harbor, they're out. So then now let's move on to Division 5, Region 18. A lot of local teams. Take a look at who's on the bubble, and I'll tell you every team right there except for, Archbold, they're out. Cary and Hicksville are in. The matchups again, OHSAA will release them at noon. As far as Tenora, they're out. But everybody else right there is in, even Patrick Henry and Liberty Benton. The key one in that one, Northwood, may be traveling to Patrick Henry to take on the Rangers. All right, let's go to Division 6, Region 22. Leipzig, they get the number 1 seed, so they're going to be hosting, tentatively taking on Arcadia. Tiffin Calvert, they're in. They will possibly play Macomb. Edgerton and Eden will take on one another. Ottawa Hills, that they are, my calculations had them out, but I guess they got in there. They sneaked in at the end. They got the number 7 seed. Again, that's all unofficial. Nothing is official until Sunday at noon. So, with that said, that is kind of, I guess you can't really call me a playoff guru if I've got a team out and an unofficial website has them in. Oh, well, what are you going to do? I'll give you a big hug later. Howie, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
It's okay, Mikey. You can always be my playoff guru. Tons of high school district championships shake down for soccer and volleyball starting in about 10.5 hours, so those sports are already in the playoffs. Football's next week, and Hardcore Hits is right now. See ya.
1, 2, 3.